Okay, so good morning and welcome. I'm Diane. I guess all of you already know me. I don't see many unfamiliar faces today. So I do agile testing for Charter. Sometimes I also like to put on some other costumes, like in the picture here, and try other stuff, right? I mean, this is the only the only time I have ever tried golf, but I think it still counts, right? Before we really get started, I would like to ask you all a question, but I want you to be honest with me. Like, who of you really, really likes summer vacations? Yeah, summer vacations. Okay. And who of you likes long summer vacations? Okay, not all of you. That's interesting. Okay, but yeah, I think all of us love summer vacations, but it's cool and you want to go away for a few weeks. But sometimes, some of us can still relate to this guy and say, okay, I cannot go to long summer vacations. I really need to think about it. Now, what is the reason? Anyone can know what's the reason if you work and you cannot go to a long summer vacation? Any ideas? Of course. What's that? So yeah, because sometimes we are afraid that when we come back, we find our team like this. Like, I mean, in ruins, right? What happened? What causes this? I mean, imagine you are the only tester in the team. I mean, like me and Lizzie and most of us in FlixBus, because we have product teams and we have cross-functional teams. And usually you are the only one who does the testing. I'm not saying that's the case. I'm just saying, imagine that. Now you go away for like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, but no one else is taking over the testing. Then what happens? The tickets soon will pile up at the end of the sprint, and team will freak out, and releases will be delayed, and yeah, so this happens. But I mean, is there a better way? There should be a better way, right? Anyone knows what the better way is? Are there better ways? No? No?
The team takes over testing.
Yay! No, I'm done. Okay, well, of course. So now here we all work in Agile, and for us it's not so weird that the others take over testing, but it's still for many teams it's an issue, right? But you are more or less familiar, I would expect, with the whole team approach. So what do we have? In Agile we have cross-functional teams, different roles brought up together, and they are expected to take over the tasks together, specific roles, but they are expected to collaborate closely, to be cross-functional, and to take over each other's tasks. Now, to have a whole team approach. What does it mean to have a whole team approach? I mean, it's the substantial difference between working in a traditional environment and working... Hi, Saeed. And working in agile environments. So the team is it's not only the tester who takes care that you don't screw up the production, or it's not only the DevOps, it's not only Ruben who takes care that the system is back online after we screwed up everything with the newest release. And as well as it's not just the UI UX who takes care that the customers are not going nuts because of the features that we release. It's everyone in the team. And even though you have the dream team, everyone has specific roles. You have the front end, you have the back end, you have the tester, you have the UI UX, the agile coach, the product owner, everything. But still, if they don't work together, if they don't collaborate, I mean, something else is going to smash them, right? They need to know, all of them, they need to know how to smash. If they don't, if Hulk is away, then they're screwed, right? So they need to be more T-shaped. Yeah, be prepared. What is T-shaped? What does it mean, T-shaped? I had the question yesterday, what are you going to talk about? And I said, okay, I'm talking about T-shaped skills and T-shaped people, and said, okay, what's that? So how many of you know what T-shaped people or T-shaped skills are? Okay, nice. Then it's not few, or a few. So T-shaped, being a T-shaped person or having T-shaped skills means that you have a main area of expertise, where you have a lot of experience, you have studied it, you work with it every day, but then you also have this your other skills. You can do other stuff as well. You have a broader knowledge, but you can still carry out tasks on that. Like Mr. Blue Jeans here. So Mr. Blue Jeans has a main area of expertise. Let's say he is a Java developer. And he also can do testing, and can also do, let's say, agile coach. So he usually does Java tasks, he programs, but then when the tester is away, he can jump in, or when the agile coach is in sick leave, or you don't have one at all, like us, we have one now, we are lucky. Then you can also do the agile coach, right? That's perfect. What other examples are there? Anyone would like to say an example? So if you are a tester, like me, sometimes I like to do a code review, a small one, and sometimes maybe fix a bug to not put it back, and sometimes also we prepare something for the retrospectives, for the reviews. So you can also be a T-shaped person, like you know how to cook. You are a Java developer, a programmer, IT guy, but you also know how to cook, and you also know maybe changing diapers, and so that also counts. But today we'll keep it in the context of our work. Yeah. So I talked about T-shaped, but why? I mean, why am I talking today about T-shaped here with you? What are the benefits? There are benefits. So we saw at first the example when you cannot go for long summer vacations and the team gets ruined, the processes and everything. Being T-shaped or having T-shaped people in the team brings a lot of benefits. And the main one is, so it increases communication and collaboration, because you want to learn more from the others, you get together with the others, you want to help them, and you understand better what they do every day, so you have a bigger picture, so when they are not there, you can also take over or help them, assist them. Next is fewer bottlenecks. If you have more people in the team that can do the same thing, then you're not blocked, right? You don't have to wait for the tester to come back, or you don't need to wait for the DevOps to do the build pipeline and so. And then if you have more people in the team who can do the same thing, maybe not at the same level, but they can still carry out tasks, then you have no single point of failure. Like you cannot allow that in the team, right? The cross-functional team is supposed to carry out the stuff together and not be blocked just because one person is not there. And by that, you have also less risk. Because you test, everyone is testing, no rush testing, not just, okay, we don't test now and send bugs to production. And you also the individuals in the team benefit from this because they enrich their own skill sets. And your job gets more attractive because you're doing different things every day and not just one thing. I mean, at least for me, that's attractive. And at the end, you can go to long summer vacations or to any vacations or conferences. Yeah, you can miss. Yeah. But OK, we talk about the benefits, T-shaped skills. OK, it's great. But how do we do that? So how do we become one? How to get started? So first of all, you need to recognize the benefits. There is some benefit, but you need to be aware of it. You need to be aware that it's good. You need to understand it, why it's good. And not just the individual, but the company itself, like the management level needs to understand. Because if you don't have their support, then it's harder. And after you recognize the benefits, so find out about your interests. What other things you like to do. So maybe you code front end, but you code in Angular most of the time, but what are other things that you would like to try out? Maybe you want to learn a bit for performance testing or other things, and why not try them out in your team? And how do you learn new things? You, for sure, with hands-on experience, and that's the best. You collaborate with each other, sit together, do pair testing. You don't need to sit together with the other developer only. You can sit together with the tester. You can sit together with everyone in the team and do what they are doing. And then you can learn and take notes, and I think it doesn't sound impossible at all. And also feel free to experiment. So I said the company, you should have the support of the company and of the management. If they allow for such an environment, then it's much more easier. Because you can experiment, you are not afraid to fail, you're not afraid to spend 2 hours in a day pair programming with someone or pair testing, or just the whole team sitting together in front of one computer and doing mobbing. Yeah. challenge yourself. So how do I know this works? I want to share a few pieces of the path that we had at Charter. Charter is my team, and so why am I coming today and talk about Charter? What is so cool about Charter? Well, it's my team, first of all, so deal with it. Yeah. And second of all, what's so cool about us? So do we have 0 bugs in the backlog? No, unfortunately not. Do we crash our system with the releases? Yes, we do, quite often. Not proud about that, but that's the truth. And do we face bottlenecks and so? Yes, we do. Like, it happens to every team. No team is perfect team. But what's so cool about Charter is how we deal with the things, how we grow, how we go together, how we go closer together and work together to find out ways to overcome those challenges. Even if the system is not, even when one of us deleted the whole table in the production database, I mean, the first thing that you hear in the team is laughing, right? And everyone just goes to the guy and just to find out what to do next. There is no blaming or such. So unconsciously, so we don't write the T-shaped concept all over the wall, but unconsciously we tend to be T-shaped, and we like it, and we advocate for it. We say, hey, this is cool, we do this at our team, and we think that everyone is doing that because for us it's so normal. So what do we do, actually? I want to share 2 or 3 examples. The first one would be retrospectives. So we have a history at Charter of agile coaches coming and going, and from the beginning we have learned to take care a bit ourselves. And every end of the sprint, someone from us takes over to prepare the retrospective, for example, bring in a new format and decide for the topic we want to talk about. And we have a collection of retrospective formats we can pick from, and everyone is free to try it, and also the working students, that's no difference there. And here we have the speed car thing. And it worked until now, so we don't have to sometimes just ask in Slack, hey, who wants to do it? But we don't have to wait for hours for someone to respond. And I like that. Next thing, DevOps. So this is a case where you don't want to have a single point of failure. You don't want to be dependent on one person only, and we had that. So at the beginning, when I joined here, we had Cyan. And Cyan was doing the infrastructure things for 3 different teams. And I remember all of us spent a lot of time at his desk, trying to help, but probably increasing his stress even more. Eventually, Cyan left, so I can understand why. And so we were on our own. But then one from our team said, okay, maybe I will want to try DevOps and how it looks like. So Ruben took over. But Ruben was not alone. I think the whole team was together from the beginning, but also Ruben sitting together, pair programming and doing mobbing, the whole team sitting in front of the TV screen and doing the new pipeline in GitLab and other stuff. So it was, maybe for some of us it was not so familiar, but then we still sit together and we wanted to know. And now every one of us releases from time to time. If you have tickets, you're going to take over the release. And it's not such a scary monster anymore. I think we did a good job there. And the other example, very important for me, especially as a tester, is testing. How do we work together for testing? I think in 2 years here, I've seen a lot of cases, a lot of techniques we have tried that worked very well for us. Some didn't work, of course, not all worked, but so we found ways to collaborate with each other. And now I'm really proud to say I can go for long vacations. I still can, guys. So that's very nice, right? So here I was preparing something, and for the test, I was preparing to test the ticket, and I said, okay, but this would make sense that the whole team has this, right? And then I just printed it out and I sent to the guys. So I just leave it in the tables, and they said, oh, this is cool, then I can use this the next time. Or I say, well, testing this new feature is pretty complex. It touches every part of the application. So, okay, let's maybe sit together with the developer. Let's talk together. What was changed here? Am I covering everything here? And so I think until now it has worked very well. And we still have bottlenecks, of course. But then if there are tickets piling up, then we just someone will take over. Most of the time, I don't even have to ask. Yeah, and yeah. So I know for someone maybe it might sound okay, but in our team we don't do such things, and so it's not different for. It's different for every team. Every team is different itself, right? So some go faster, some go slower, some choose different ways. But I think it's possible for everyone to grow closer together and to learn how to take over each other's tasks when needed. You don't have to do that when needed. And now that I said, okay, we do a charter, this and that, I want to share with you some tips that I found useful. Maybe you can find them useful. How do we do that? So how do we test together, especially for testing? The first thing and most important one, I think, is to make your work transparent. Don't just sit there and do your thing and talk a bit about it at the daily, but make your work transparent. And for a tester, this is very important if you want your team to also take it over sometimes. What do I mean by make your work transparent? So we use Jira in our product for our product, and when we have tickets, testing usually starts quite. I mean, it doesn't start, it's there. So we talk about the ticket in the estimation. When we estimate it, we talk about it when we plan it. We enter the questions there. But I also, when I start a test, if I have a checklist, if I have scenarios that I want to try for this ticket, then I just put them in the comments. There everyone can see, especially the developer. Why is that important? The developer can see how you test, how you approach specific problems. What are the different ways you can approach different problems? How you ask questions. What things are you considering? Do you put screenshots? Do you use links? So, and next time, they have an example. They have a reference. They can do that also themselves. And the second thing is involve others in your tasks, especially if you are the only one holding one specific role, like a tester in our cross-functional teams. It's important that you let others also be involved in your daily tasks. You have a checklist. Let's say, for example, ask the others, ask the developer, ask someone totally other that didn't develop. Is this enough? I mean, did I cover everything? Did you change something else? Did you touch another part of the application? What are the risks? And then let them extend that. Let them think. Let them, for a few minutes, get the testing, get the mind to think, get their minds to think about how they could test this. So they already tried it, right, with this. And do pair testing and mob testing. This is very important. It's also tricky because sometimes you forget and you say, okay, pair testing is great, but we haven't done that in a long time. I think in our team we do it quite often, not maybe in purpose, like, hey, let's pair test, but it happens quite naturally. Especially if there are more complex tickets where you have less knowledge about, and it's trickier because you have to set up different things and simulate different situations. And mob testing, I'm not sure I think Planner here is mostly a pro at mobbing, but we have also tried something in our team. It's the whole team coming together in front of the screen, one computer only, and they do one task. They concentrate on one task. You can do that with testing as well. And then ask for help. It's nothing to be shy about. Like, foresee the bottleneck, see that something is coming, and then just say, hey guys, in the daily, or just there, hey guys, I think we are coming to a point where we should maybe stop starting new stuff and start finishing what we already have. Yeah, so it's important to be able to see this and not just wait until the things get pretty complex. Yeah. And last but not least, share your knowledge. What we have developed this tradition in our team. We do lightning talks. for everything. Like, okay, something changed in the Jira board, we added new fields, and we ask, hey, our dear product owner, can you please have a lightning talk about this? We would like to know more. Or DevOps. So we all learned a bit about Kubernetes and AWS and everything because Ruben did quite some lightning talks. And the new pricing logic. I guarantee you that's the most complex thing you have ever heard. But we have had quite some lightning talks about that as well. So it's still not a monster for us. It's not a black box. But also document the processes and the good practice. You don't just go and document everything in Confluence, of course, but try to document, like also what I showed you before when I wrote this list and example and shared it to the team. That's also sort of a documentation. You have a reference. You have an example documented in some paper in somewhere that you can use. And sync up before leaving. What do I mean with that? So let's say you are leaving for vacation and it's better not to just say bye, I'm going, do whatever you want. But if you gather the team or just during the daily, you say, hey guys, I'm going. We have still some tickets in the sprint, and the new sprint I'm not going to be here. But in the tickets I left some comments. Please have a look at them. Please take care of them. Please inform business when you want to release it. Any information you have, just share it with the team. It's not only for the tester. This is true for everyone in the team. Before leaving, you just sync up with the team. You say this and this and this happened, and this and this and this has to happen still. And if there are more complex tickets that you have to test in the future, then try to delegate it to some specific person. Because if you just leave it like that, please take care of it. It might go too late in the sprint that someone takes it over. So if there is something bigger and more complex, delegate it to some specific person. Say, hey, can you maybe take care of this? Because you know more about this area of the application, so I have confidence you could handle it quite well. And then by this, you avoid the long time and maybe the delay. Yeah. Well, so I think I talked enough. Now to finalize my presentation, I was digging for material and I found this. Robert Heinlein happens to be a science fiction author. And some of his quotes are quite famous. One of them is this one here. And he's saying, okay, a human should be able to change a diaper, to cook a delicious meal, to plan an invasion, to build a wall. I don't know what that's going. But I don't think we should beat up ourselves for not knowing all of these things. I don't even know what all of them mean. But still, stop and think for some minutes what you do every day. And you might find out that you are more T-shaped than you think. And also find out the new things that you would like to try. And just have the courage and try them. Experiment. Doesn't matter. Yeah. You will learn something new, and that's great. And yeah, so at the end of the presentation, I will hand out some printouts where you can write, you can see yourself as a T, and you can write what you do, what's your main expertise, and what other things that you can do. Yeah, that's after the questions.